Okay, so I'm going to talk about my artistic style. And I'm going to use, okay, my Vanna White picture behind me to talk a little bit about my style. So, a lot of people I get this question a lot. How do you find your artistic style? I think I have a distinct style, probably because at some point I quit mimicking other people and just allowed myself to express myself and to go to the art for what I needed. I think that would be my key. That would be my key, right? Would be to one, keep playing, and what feels natural and feels good. For me, my art has always been about a way of connecting to my past. And so I talk about art as emotional, spiritual, and cultural healing. And so my artistic style is probably would be branded as tribal. I call it tribal marks. Um, and my fascination with trying to create African textiles on paper, right? Like that is my thing. I'm always trying to create African textiles of some sort on paper. Like that's the challenge, right? And so if you ever say tell me, "Oh, your art looks like batik," and I'm like, "Yes, mission accomplished," because that's what I'm trying to do. And so, but why, right? Like I think that just like in business, just like in the rest of life, getting to your why will help you connect with your unique style. For me, my why is personal, right? As a American of um, African descent, i.e., um, my ancestors here, I can only trace back so far. Why? Because of a system in this country that destroyed and robbed us of our culture, made it illegal for us to speak our native language, made, just ripped that from us. And so as a black artist of African American, you know, descent, I'm in this weird space, and it's a conversation that needs to have, and a conversation and a cultural healing that needs to happen, right? And so a lot of us, we because we were stolen from our country and used um, for the advancement of this country, right? Like our starting point is 1619, and that's what the school system would have you to believe. But you've got to go past that, right? And so for me, since I was a little kid, right, my dad had lots of empowerment books around the house. And so I was always reading history books, African history books, just because I needed to know that I was not an orphan in this country, that I have a heritage and and a connection back to the motherland. And so for me, that's what I'm doing when I'm creating. I am praying. Oftentimes, I am trying to connect. I am listening to ancestors. I am imagining myself as an artist in Africa. So that's what's coming out for me. Now that may not be the case for other people, but that is me, and that's what comes out in my art. And so when I'm making my marks, I am I am meditating, I am praying, but more importantly for me, I am trying to connect to a past um, that I have been uh, that was stolen from me, but that I am reclaiming. And so that's what it's personal for me. And so um, when I talk about cultural healing, for me, I think that's important. I remember, I'll tell you a side story. Side story. So my oldest, when Black Panther came out, I was overwhelmed with joy and pride that the movie was coming out. And I know it was a superhero show, but it was a beautiful movie, and it meant a lot to Black people in America. Uh, for a whole host of reasons, right? You had a black superhero, and you had a movie that was celebrating the diversity of culture and was showing Africa as beautiful, not as the Africa that the media gives us, right? And so it was a very powerful movie. And I remember my son, that we had this. He was like, "Well, why are you guys dressing up? You guys don't know where you're from in Africa." And I said, "You're right. We don't. We have been robbed of that heritage connection to exactly which tribe. But you know what? We can claim it back because we don't know for sure. you can pick one, you can pick all of them. Take all the beautiful things about the culture of Africa and make them yours, right? And so you'll see that in my work. You will unequivocally, undoubtedly see that in my work. That is what I'm trying to communicate to you in my work. I study constantly, consistently. I'm enamored by African art and the different cultures, and so that's what comes out in my art. And I'm unapologetically tribal, right? That's what I like to study, and I like to create that in my art. I like the exploration. I like the stories behind it. I like that people talk through symbols, and so when you want to know about my artistic style and you're looking at the different pieces of art, that's what you're going to get. You're going to see me healing myself culturally as well as expressing myself culturally, so that with every piece I get a little more in touch with who I am and my lineage. So hope that helps and it gives you a little understanding behind my art. And I will say that what's challenging though is when you have a passion like that. Sometimes the resources that are available for me are limited. And so I have just learned to create my own stencils and make my own stamps, foam stamps, to get the designs and patterns that I need. But you do what you got to do. But hopefully change will come, and there will be enough people with an interest in the types of stamps and stencils and art making tools that I like to create. And then maybe we'll see them on a product line one day. Until then, talk to you later. Bye bye.